It is a wonderful 70 degrees out here today in this beautiful afternoon for beer pong. We all welcome you all to Atlanta in Trident City. Today we got a great matchup in store here. It is ItsDanMC taking on Flashz. Hello everybody, welcome to Beer Pong. We are now in the quarterfinals, round number 2. We just finished Unstopped versus Ian Ray in the last matchup, but now we are on round 2 against these two gentlemen. So whoever wins this matchup will be going into the semifinals against the winner from round 1. And like I said before, it's ItsDanMC one more time taking on Flashz. Now we are going to be walking up to them and asking them a couple questions, so ItsDanMC, we will start with you first. ItsDanMC, how are you doing, my friend?
Playing with my chest.
Okay, I can see that right now, but I have a couple questions for you, so can you stop breaking that? Okay, thank you. First of all, how are you doing today?
The chest says yes.
Can you?
I'm feeling good.
Okay, thank you. And what are your thoughts on this competition? Do you think you're gonna win?
No.
No.
If I'm being completely honest, no.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm like very bad at archery.
All right, well, let's see what happens, man. Some stuff can actually happen here, some random stuff. So I would say good luck to you.
Yeah. Ian did beat Ponky, so
that's true, but let's see what happens, man. Random stuff can happen, so good luck to you today. And Flashz, you won in round 4. Do you think you have enough to actually beat ItsDanMC and get to the semifinals?
I'll be honest, I've had 1 minute of training, accidentally hit a squid in the water, and I'm 100% confident that I'm gonna.
Alright, my friend. Well, let's see how well you do today, and good luck. I did not mean to punch you. I am completely sorry. Alright. Let's go ahead and begin the games now. I did not mean to assault one of the players. So ItsDanMC and Flashz, thank you both for coming out here today. Let's go ahead and begin. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the coin now. Dan, you will be heads. Flash, you are going to be tails. And the coin lands on tails. So which means, Flashz, you are going to be going first. Let me go ahead and get the timer out and ready. And when I say go, you can begin. And the arrows are fired. Here we go. Here at Atlantis in Trident City. The first arrow was a misfire. It lands straight into the water. That is an incompletion right there. He's got 2 more arrows left. He is using his telescope there. I didn't say that was against the rules, so I will count that right there. Alright, the second arrow was fired, but it was not out of his booth. The second arrow fires straight up into the air. And, oh, wait a minute, isn't that in? No, it's not. That was pretty close inside of the 9. Last arrow to fire, it's up into the sky. And it is also an incompletion right there. It's now Dan's turn at 9-10 on the timer. Still nothing to each. Each players have done very good jobs in the training. So let's see what can happen here with Dan. He did an outstanding job in the training session. Hitting one of the contestants there. I hope that contestant is actually okay right there. He's taking his time right now in the booth. Lining himself up, which is really nice. First arrow fires, and that is in for the first Dunkin' of the day at 8:32. And Dan will get the first points here to hit this afternoon. 8:32 now on the timer. 2 more arrows left for him to fire. He's lining up right now where he wants to go. You're going to aim somewhere on the left side. The timer's now rolling. The second arrow fires, and that is a miss. Last arrow left to fire. Fires the last one, and that lands into the water. So that arrow makes a splash. It's now Flashz's turn at 3 arrows on him right now. The timer's rolling at 8:08. Looking up at the sky, lining himself up. Here we go. And that is incomplete. It hits in between the 2 and the 1. He's got 2 more arrows left, so it's not the end for him right now. The second arrow plunges into the water. That is incomplete. And the final arrow is into the air, and that also plunges into the water. That is also incomplete. Right now, a good start for Dan. He's got 1 arrow inside of a cup, and he's right now on the board. 7:28 on the timer. The first arrow fires into the air, and that hits in between the middle of the 2 and the 3, so that is an incomplete. Second arrow fires straight at the sun, and that plunges into the water. 1 more arrow left to go. Time is at the essence here. The last arrow fires, and that is incomplete. That was really close in the 10 there. Flashz's turn at 6:52 on the timer. Let's see if he can get a cup. Let's see if he can get an arrow in a cup. First arrow fires over the wall this time, and that is incomplete right there. He's got 2 left. He's throwing punches right now. Getting a little bit aggressive. The second arrow fires into the air, and that is another incompletion right there. He's got 1 more arrow left. Last arrow fires, and that hits in between the 2 and the 3 again. 1-0 still on the score, 6:03 on the timer. It is now Dan's turn. He's going to go somewhere on the right side this time. If I had to take a very big guess on where he's aiming for right now, it would be, well, the first arrow hits inside Flashz's booth. Lucky that was not a penalty right there for him, as he would have 2 arrows on his next go. The second arrow plunges into the water. And the last arrow, and that lands on the rim of the 10. That is not close at all inside. 5:27 on the timer now. Flashz lining himself up. He's going to go somewhere on the right side, I think. That is incomplete right there. The second arrow fires. And that is also incomplete. And there's a penalty right there. Stop the timer at 5:01. There is 1 penalty. Paused by Dan right there. And Flash just fired his arrow. We're not going to count that. But Dan did cause a penalty. The penalty was he shot his arrow way too early. 2 times. For his next go, he will only have 1 arrow to fire. Because of that. And there's another penalty right there for him. Still shooting out of his booth. And for that, he will not be having any arrows on his next go. So that is a skip for him. And Flashz will be having 4 arrows to fire. That last arrow did not count because of the penalty. 5 minutes on the timer. 4 arrows for him to fire. So he has a big advantage right now to actually get an arrow in. He's got 3 left. The second arrow the third arrow hits in between cups. Sorry, the second one. Here comes the third one. The third one also hits in between. He's got 1 more arrow left. The last arrow fires straight up. That is also incomplete. It hits the rim on the 5. That is all now for Flashz, and it's now Dan's turn at 4:20 on the timer. There is some fighting going on over by the audience. He is shaking his head right now. You better shoot right away. Time is right now literally being wasted. First arrow fires. And that is an incompletion right there. The second arrow fires. And that is also an incompletion that plunges into the water. And the last arrow. And there's a penalty there again by Dan. 3:36 on the timer. He got 2 penalties in a row. Actually, 3 in a row. And this penalty, he hit Flashz, so that means he's only going to have 2 arrows on his next go. And speaking of Flashz, it's now his turn at 3:36. The timer has stopped, but it will resume once he fires. And here we go. The first arrow is into the air, and luckily that roof was there and Dan didn't get hurt. 2 more arrows left to fire. Alright, the second arrow is now up into the air, and that hits in between the cups again. 1 more arrow left to fire. Alright, he shot the third one, but that didn't go outside of his booth. The last arrow fires, and that is not a Duncan. Nope. 2:53 on the timer. Dan is struggling right now with 3 penalties in a row. Now he's got 2 arrows to fire. Alright, the first arrow fires into the air. And that is in for the Duncan. And never mind, that actually did not go in. That hit in between. Dan has 1 more arrow left. The timer will resume once he shoots the last arrow. Last arrow fires. And that hits in between. Timer's still rolling at 2:30. It's Flashz's turn. Still no cups. Still no arrows in a cup yet. But the first arrow fires, and that is no good for the first one. Lining up his second. That goes up into the air. And that is also incomplete. That was close in the 5, though. And he's going to try aiming for the 5 again. The last arrow fires into the air. And here we go. Duncan for Flashz. And he finally is on the board. Tie game now, and Dan's got all of his arrows back after that penalty. 1:57 on the timer. It is his turn. And here we go for the first one. That hits on top of the wall. That is no good. The second arrow fires. And that is also no good. He's got 1 more arrow left. The last arrow fires, and that hits on the wall. That is also no good. 1:34 on the timer. It's now Flashz's turn. Finally, he gets his first Duncan right there. And here we go. The second arrow fires. That hits on top of the 1, but that is blocked. He's got 2 left. And that is also a miss. It hits on the wall. And the second one also lands on top of the wall. That is no good. 1 minute on the timer now. It's now Dan's turn. Thinking of where he wants to go. First arrow fires. That is no good. 2 arrows left. Fires the second. That is also no good. He's got 1 more arrow left at 33 seconds. Goes up into the sky. That is no good. Flashz's turn at 25 seconds. First arrow fires. And, oh wait, stop the timer there at 17 seconds. Yes, that is a dunk in for Flashz. He gets it in the 5. Two arrows left. At 17 seconds. Fires the second one. That is no good. That plunges in the water. He's got 1 more arrow left at 10 seconds. And that is also no good. That hits on top of the rim. And Dan's going to have to pause right here because that is the end of quarter number 1. 1-2 is our score. We will return after this. You are watching the quarterfinals of Beer Pong. We'll be right back. We're now at the start of quarter number 2. We welcome you back in the Aqua Dome in Atlantis, Trident City. It is Dan's turn. His score right now is 1. Flashz is in the lead with 2. Quarter number 2 will start. Quarter number 2 will start once he fires his arrows. Lots of penalties in the first quarter caused by him. The first arrow fires. And look at the start right there at 9:57. He ties the game. Tie game now, 2 each. He's got 2 more arrows left. Gets it in the 5 in the first arrow. For the first arrow. The second arrow fires. That is no good. The third arrow. Choosing where he wants to go. 9:35 on the timer. Third arrow fires. That lands out of the arena. That is no good. Flashz's turn. Here comes the first arrow. It fires up into the air. And that plunges into the water. No good. He's got 2 left. Here comes the second. That's up into the sky. And that is good for a dunk in. Gets it in the 3. Two to 3 now is the score. The final arrow shoots up into the sky. And there's another dunk in by Flashz in the 2. Two to 4 now. Flashz in the lead. It is now Dan's turn at 8:52. First arrow fires by Dan. Hits at the wall. That is no good. Here comes the second arrow, and that is also no good. That was pretty close in the 8. Here comes the third. That was close to a penalty mark, but luckily Flashz was able to dodge it. He did not get harmed. It is now his turn. And here comes the first arrow in the sky. That is no good. That was pretty close in the 6. I think that is the one he is going for, actually. second arrow lands right by the 6. That didn't go in. Last arrow. That actually should be good. And that's in between cups. It is now Dan's turn. Down by 2. He's going to aim, I think, at the 7. And that is 1 miss right there. 7:25 on the timer. The second arrow fires. That plunges into the water. 1 more arrow left. That hits on the wall. That is no good. It's now Flashz's turn at 7:07. Here comes the first arrow. And that lands on the rim of the 6, but that is no good. That was pretty close in. 2 more left. The second arrow fires. And that is, stop the timer at 6:47. Isn't that in? It is for the Duncan. The second arrow is gone. He's got 1 more arrow left. Fires into the air, goes. And that hits in between. That is no good. Dan's turn at 6:35. Here goes the first arrow fired. And that is no good. The second arrow. That is also a miss. He's got 1 more arrow left. I think he's going to be aiming for the 7. He changed his skin over there. Isn't that an iron golem we see right there? It is. Why did he change his skin to an iron golem? Anyways, time is being wasted right now. He's right now playing dress up and not paying attention to the game. The timer's going down. And the third arrow fires, and that is a miss. It is now Flashz's turn. The first arrow is into the air, and that is in for the Duncan. Inside of the 4. Flashz making talents happen right now. He is in the lead by 6. And the second arrow hits in between. That is no good. And here comes the final arrow into the sky. And that is no good. The only arrows he has left are the 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it's just the back cups. And those are pretty tough to get in. 4:58 on the timer. Dan is choosing where he wants to go. The first arrow fires into the air. That lands out of the arena. 2 left. Fires up. And that is also no good. It plunges into the water. Last arrow. There's a penalty. There is another penalty. Wow. How many penalties is Dan going to get? For his next go, he will only have 2. Hits his arrow at Flashz. Speaking of Flashz, it's his turn. Only the back cups are what he's got left. Let's see what can happen. The first arrow fires into his booth. 2 left. One looks actually pretty good. That hits in between. That was pretty close in the 8, but he's got 1 more arrow left. Last arrow. And that is no good. Yep, no good. It's DanMC with 2 arrows this time after that penalty again. 347. And here's another penalty again. What is going on with him today? His next go will this time only be 1 arrow. But anyways, he still has 1 more arrow left. Can he make something happen here with the final arrow at least? If he shoots Flashz again 1 more time with that last arrow. Okay, looks like it didn't, so he got lucky there. Flashz now in possession with the arrows and the bow. First arrow fires into the sky. And that lands into the water. That is no good. 2 more arrows left. That is also no good. He's got 1 more arrow left to fire. Last arrow fires. That hits in between. And that is no good. So it's Dan at 2:54 on the timer. He's now got 1 arrow. That last arrow lands right at the 4, but is it in? No, it is not. That is incomplete. Flashz's turn. Let's hope that Dan doesn't get any more penalties, sorry. And it is Flashz's turn. And time is being wasted right now. Choosing where he wants to go, 2:13 on the timer. Waiting for him to fire. And there it goes. And that is a miss. He's going to need to put a little bit more power on that bow. As he's aiming still at the same area. That was pretty close inside of the 8, but it's no good. 1:51 on the timer. He's got 1 more arrow left. And that is also no good. Back to 3 arrows for Dan. 1:34 on the timer. Fires the first arrow. That is a miss. That hits on top of the wall. And here comes the second one. That lands on the wall. Where is the third arrow going to be? And that lands in Flashz's booth, but he did not get hit, so there's no penalty there. 1:10 on the timer. It is his turn. Flash fires the first arrow into the air. That is no good. That still lands right by the 4. 50 seconds on the timer. Here comes the second. And that still lands by the 4. That is no good. He's got 1 more arrow left to fire. And that hits in between the 4 and the 5. No good. 28 seconds on the timer for Dan. Here goes the first arrow. That is almost a penalty, but no good. 17 seconds left. Second arrow fires. No good. That was pretty close in the 2. That might be where he's going for right now. And that is also no good. So there's 5 seconds left. I don't think Flashz is going to have time. Okay, he fires 1 arrow. Fires 2. And that lands nowhere, and the third arrow plunges into the water, but the third arrow is not going to count right there because the timer just hit 0. So 2-6 is our score as the second quarter ends. We will be back right after this. 2-6 is the score. Flashz Z with only one more arrow left in the final quarter. Let's see what can happen here in the final quarter. Will Dan be able to get a comeback? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Alright, here we go for the third and final quarter. And that is a miss right there. Dan's really going to need to make some magic happen if he wants to... if he really wants to win this. That first arrow was a miss. He's got 2 left. That hits on the wall. That is no good. And the third arrow. And oh wait, stop the timer there at 9:31. There we go. There's a dunk in there for him. Inside of the 8. That was his final arrow. The score is now 3-6. And here we go. Flashz now takes possession of the bow and arrows. The first arrow was a miss. 2 more arrows left to fire. Here goes the second, and that hits in between the 4 and the 5 again. He keeps on landing it in between the 4 and the 5. And here goes the final arrow. And that is a miss. Yes, it is. It is now Dan's turn at 8:55. And the first arrow lands in the arena. No good. My dog is barking here. I am going to need to take a pause real quick because my dog is barking at something. We'll be right back. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that, everybody. I am now back. 8:34 on the timer. It is now Dan's turn still. Alright, the last arrow fires and that plunges into the water. It is now Flashz Z's turn. Still has a great lead. Alright, here goes the first arrow into the air. And that is a miss. That hits on a roof. That is no good. He's got 2 more arrows left to fire. The second arrow fires. And there's a penalty for him. He finally now gets a penalty for the first time. He hit Dan. For his next go, he will only have 2 arrows. 8:04 on the timer. He's got 1 more arrow left to fire. And there goes the final arrow. And here comes another penalty right there. Looks like things are going to be changing in this quarter. He hit Dan 2 times, and because of that, he will only have 1 arrow. It is now Dan's turn at 8 minutes. He now should have an advantage here. First arrow fires. That is no good. That hits way too far. And here goes the second arrow. That was close to hitting Flashz straight in the head. And the third arrow fires, and that is no good. Flashz with only 1 arrow this time after those 2 penalties. Let's see what can happen with that last and final arrow. Will he be able to get it in 1? And it looks like no. It plunges straight in the water in between the 4 and the 5. He keeps on going for the 4 and the 5, but they're blocked. It is now Dan's turn. The first arrow fires. That is no good. That was pretty close in the 10. And the second arrow was no good. That hits on the roof. And the third arrow is also no good. Flashz is back with his 3 arrows. Let's see what can happen here. And here goes the first one. Isn't that a second one? Oh, there's a second one right there. And there's a third one. Okay, he's going rapid fire in this one. So that was all 3 of his arrows. Let's see what Dan can do over here. There goes the first arrow. That is 1 miss right there. Comes the second. That is also a miss. Hits on the wall. And the third arrow is also a miss. Flashz Z's turn. First arrow fired. That is no good. Oh, there comes the second and the third. Did one of them go in? No, they did not. They plunged into the water. That is no good. It is now Dan's turn. The first arrow was a miss. Here comes the second. And that is also a miss. That was pretty close in the 10. And the second arrow is, and the third arrow is also a miss. 5:50 on the timer now. Flashz still with a good lead. The first arrow fires, no good. The second one fired yet? No. Okay, he's not going rapid fire this time. The second one also was a miss. He's got one more arrow left to fire. The last one was also a miss. That was close to hitting Dan. 5:19 on the timer now. The first arrow was a miss. Hits on top of the roof. Looks like Dan's really focusing right now on that 7 cup. One more arrow left for him to fire. That is also a miss. Flashz's turn. First arrow fires into the air. And there's a dunk in there! Finally! Gets it in the 8. .450 on the timer, 2 left. And that lands close in the 7, but no good. He's got one more arrow left. That's fired. And that is also no good. 3-7 is our score. Dan fires. That is one miss right there. The second arrow fires now. And there's a dunk it for Dan. Lands in the 1. One more arrow left to fire for Dan at 4:16 on the timer. And that is a miss. Almost lands into the 2. Flashz's turn now. 4-7 is our score. Goes up to the air. That is no good. That was pretty close in the 9. Here comes the second. That was also a miss. Hits on top of Dan's roof. And the final arrow. And that is also a miss. Dan's turn now. First arrow fired. Lands on top of the wall. 3:35 on the timer. And fires again. That was close to a penalty. But luckily, Flashz didn't get hit. One more arrow left for him to fire. And there's a penalty there for Dan. 3:16 on the timer. He hit Flashz. He will only have 2 arrows. Flashz's turn now. Here goes the first arrow. That lands out of the arena. That is no good. He's got 2 left. The second arrow fires. That lands almost in the 9. That just landed on the rim. One more arrow left. That actually looks like it's good. And it is good. 2:54. Dunk in Flashz. That was his third and final arrow there, 2:54. It is now Dan's turn, and he fires straight away. I have no idea where that landed, but hold on a minute. Let me just take a look. Okay, the second arrow has fired. Okay, should probably get out of there. One more arrow left. And the final arrow fires. And that's no good. 2:27 on the timer. It is now Flashz's turn. Only 2 cups left. Where is he going to go? Goes up into the air. That was close to the side of the 7. That is no good. The second arrow fires. And that is also a miss. One more arrow left. Fires up into the air. And that is also no good. It is now Dan's turn at 152 on the timer. That is a miss. He's got 2 more arrows left. That is also a miss there. He's got 1 more left to go. Can he try and at least make 1 more arrow appear in the cup? No. That is incomplete. Flashz's turn. First arrow fires into the air. That is no good at 125 on the timer. Here comes the second. And that is also no good. 1 more arrow left. Aiming super hard. Trying to get in the 7. That is also no good. 1:03 on the timer. Dan is going to have to go into maximum overdrive right now if he wants to tie the game. The first arrow lands into the stands. That is no good. The second arrow also lands into the stands. That's incomplete. 1 more arrow left. The final arrow up into the air. That plunges into the water. No good. 40 seconds left. That went straight up. That is no good. 2 arrows left. The second one. Duncan for Flashz. And this game should actually just about do it. We are not done yet. There are only 27 seconds left, but he has one more arrow to fire. And the last cup he's got is the 10. Lining up. Last arrow. Fires. Is it good? 22 seconds. Is it good? No, it is not. It is not good. That is not good. That plunged into the water. It is Dan's turn at 22 seconds. Here goes the first arrow. And that is no good. It's got 2 more arrows left. That is also no good. 12 seconds onto the timer. Last arrow fires, and that is also no good. Only 4 seconds left. The game might just be about over. 1 arrow fires. And isn't that good? Isn't that good? The second arrow doesn't count. It is! Look at that! Final seconds, Flashz gets it. In the final seconds, he won the game, doing it again. 4-10, our final scores. Dan sadly lost, and he is eliminated. One more time, the final scores were 4-2. Dan is eliminated, but Flashz is going into the semi-finals. Holy smokes, what a game. Dan, unmute your mic, my friend. I am so sorry to tell you this, but you are eliminated. But let me ask you this question. Did you at least have fun?
Not really. I don't feel any fun in my body, bro. It's like 12:43 right now, bro. It's late.
Yeah, I do apologize for you coming in at a late time, but did you at least have fun? I mean, come on, you did get 4 points. At least you got some points, my friend. But sadly you are eliminated, but I'm glad you did come out. Hey, let me tell you this right now, my friend. Thank you for coming out.
Hashtag let Dan in season 2.
We'll see about that, but sadly you are eliminated, my friend. Flashz, my friend. You did it again. You did this in round 4 in the regular season. You won again. How does it feel?
Honestly, I'm gonna say the exact same what I said last time. I want to thank my dad. Something happened before he passed away, so mum's no longer with him. And now I've got a dog.
Is he your new
So
companion
I
now?
want to thank both of them. Yeah, he was actually whispering in my ear, like, move a little to the left, a little to the right. So, yeah.
Well, that's very nice, my friend. You are going into the semifinals. How does that feel?
Amazing. I didn't think I'd get this far shooting arrows.
Yeah, with 1 minute of training, dude. Hopefully that training actually did pay off, bro. But you did
I
amazing
know.
out there.
My advice to my competitors: always hit the squid. If you can hit the squid, you can easily ace the ball.
Well, you should actually start remembering that, my friend. I will make sure there are plenty of squids.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations, my friend. We will see you in the semifinals. Well, that is the end of our game right here, my friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this game of beer pong. The next game, we will be going into the Nether Arena with Storms and Shadow Dragon PvP. Thank you all so much for watching. From the Aquadome in Atlantis. Thank you all so much for watching. And that is it. Have a good day, everybody.